What is going on, YouTube? It has been a long time since I made a YouTube video. It's about high time that I make one at the request of a lot of people who have watched my videos. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking and commenting on my videos. It's been a pleasure to talk to all of you guys and just to talk back and forth about my various interests, some of which I've made videos about that are in completely different, unrelated fields. But somehow for me they all tie together, and somehow you guys just keep commenting and talking about what your interests are, and you ask me questions and you make me feel like I'm actually somebody that knows stuff about stuff. But all that aside, I don't really know that much about that much. But today I do want to talk about something that I do know a little bit about, and that is pheromones, specifically one by Pheromone called Ascend. Now, AscendXS, I've actually bought two different bottles of it. The first one I bought in the ACE Ascend Cohesion Evolve starter pack that Pheromone XS offers. Now, in that one, I actually bought the oil version, and I bought all three in the scent of Sultan's Oud. What that was a very good product, but it smelled super strong, and especially since it was an oil, it was almost impossible to use with anything else that has Sultan's Oud. Otherwise, I would smell like just a straight pepper nutmeg factory. Now, moving right along, this is a product that I absolutely adore. You know, status and being an alpha male has always been something that's on pretty high on my list of things that I aspire to be, or that I want to be. I don't want to say want to be like, because that implies that someone wanting to be someone that I'm not. But you know, having someone who is being someone who is authentic to himself. As I'm saying this, being an alpha male or being someone of status is something that I do truly want, because I know that I can achieve it and that I am achieving it. Now, AscendXS as a pheromone product has very much helped me in accomplishing that goal, and is continuing to help me accomplish that goal. I want to talk to you a little bit about my experiences, about what I think AscendXS has done for me. Full disclosure, I am going to praise a lot about it because it's done a lot for me in my life. But let's get right down to it. So, Ascend. The pheromone molecules that it has is specifically androsterone, one of them. The main androsterone component being the classic androsterone that you know and love from your status blends. Now, it also has a few other variations of it. Androsterone sulfate, I think. I don't know. They haven't really disclosed what androsterone molecules they have in it, just that there's 4 different types of androsterone. So I'm very much assuming that it has the classic androsterone, because what status pheromone blend does not have the classic androsterone? Now, what that is by itself is a status molecule. It's like, I've heard people describe it as you wear it and you instantly went up by 1 point in whatever you're wearing. So if you're wearing something like I am, just a plain t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, all of a sudden to the people that are perceiving you, you're now wearing a collared shirt. So you're almost like looking a little bit better dress-wise, but you haven't really changed dresses. You've just added a scent of the androsterone. Not only that, it has both alpha and the beta androstenol. Now, those are the social molecules. The betanol strengthens the trustworthy vibe of the alpha. When I say alpha, in that sense, I meant the alpha male. So the betanol strengthens the trustworthy vibe of the alpha male. Now, imagine somebody who is super alpha, super macho, but that's not what this is. That's really not what this is, because I don't want it to be construed that this is the untouchable Man of Steel or whatever, or I don't know, like James Bond. It's not like that. What alphanol does is it strengthens the openness, the approachability, and tones down the status. In my opinion and in my experience, that aspect of toning down the status of the product actually works in its favor. Now, like I said, it's not that super alpha untouchable personality. That's not what you want. That's not what I want to be when I wear a status mode. I've had experiences with A314 by Androtix Direct, and my experience with that has been almost like the guy that commands so much respect that you don't want to look him in the eyes because he just commands that much authority. I don't want to be like that. That's not the type of alpha that I'm trying to project or that I want to project or that I see useful, especially with my personality. That's a very outgoing, bubbly personality. That doesn't fit me. Ascend, however, does, because it enhances the social aspect of it and enhances the openness and the approachability, which is very important if you are in a position of authority and if you are in a position of status, to have that openness and approachability. So it also has 2 other undisclosed molecules, and I don't want to go into trying to identify what those are. I'm not even that good at figuring out what molecules do what. So, Ascend. What is it? It's the guy who's going places in life, right? It's the guy who you look at or talk to for a few minutes and think, if he's not already successful, he's gonna be successful. Definitely gonna be successful. It's perfect for appearing more masculine. And like I said before, it's not the macho man type of masculine, but it's more like, if you can imagine the movie Limitless, one of my favorite movies of all times. The guy, whenever he takes that tablet, he becomes this cool, on point, intellectual alpha male. That's what I would like to describe Ascend to give me the vibe of. The guy from Limitless. Now, he's also like, the guy wearing Ascend is also like the man with the plan that you can trust. The man you look at and think, the ladies must love him. Not too much alpha that polarizes and turns off like A314 does, but combined with cohesion, it had people cling on to every word that I spoke. You know, I told my story in front of 150 people at one time back in 2015. I was wearing a combination of Ascend, and I was wearing that with cohesion. Was it cohesion or connection? It was cohesion. So I told my story in front of 150 people, and as I was looking at the audience and I was speaking, I was seeing people, they almost like were literally at the edge of their seat. It was crazy to see such a phenomenon. People were looking at me in awe and wonder, like, whoa, like, not to brag or anything, my story wasn't that great, but it's just like, the words that I was saying, people were holding on to. They were grabbing what I was saying, and they were listening, and they were really paying attention to who I was and what I had to say. Like I said, I started wearing Ascend back in 2015, man, and I was just an average employee out of 5 people in that whole company that I was working at. Ascend has been one of my go-to products. It's been the blend that I wear the most to work. This is my second bottle that I have right now. The first one was oil. The second one, I bought unscented spray. The spray is a lot less stanky than the oil, but it's stanky. Let me tell you. But back to the employees thing. I'm now second in command of that company. Now, I'm right underneath the owner. I am managing 25 employees. I have risen up the ranks throughout the whole company. Basically, if I had a title, it would be general manager, but I don't think I really have a title. It's more of just like, if you can't talk to the owner about something, you come and talk to me about something. That's mostly due, I have to be honest, it's mostly due to the hard work and dedication that I've put into this company. I've put in some sweat, blood, and tears into this company to achieve what I want to achieve in life. But of course, the pheromones have had a part to play in my entire life, and this is no situation that's any different. Ascend has been a very, very, very positive blessing in how I've gotten to where I am right now. I've got part ownership in the company now, and I am seen, like I said, as someone that is trustworthy and that is worthy of having this position. So, I mentioned scent a little bit earlier. Let me get into that. A combo of androstenone and copulins equals stank. I'm not kidding when I say stank. It's some powerful smelling stuff. Now, like I said, the spray that I got was unscented. It is very, 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 very potent. One spray of it, and I feel like I can smell myself for like 45 minutes to an hour, and it's like this gnarly, cheesy smell. But because of the copulins. If anybody has smelled copulins before, you know what I'm talking about. It's got a stink to it. It's almost sweet. It's almost pleasant. I kind of enjoy that smell, but it is pungent and it can turn people off. And I get self-conscious every time I wear it, if for about 45 minutes, because I don't think it dies down for about 30 to 45 minutes. So, I highly, 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 highly recommend a cover scent of some sort if you are to use this unscented. Cool fragrances, like blue fragrances, they do not seem to work so well at covering this scent. I gotta be honest. The combination of like a fruity floral male scent does not go well with the stench of the copulins and androstenone. I think what works the best is a spicy scent. My first batch of Ascend that I got in Sultan's Oud, man, it was the perfect combination of smell. The only problem is it was a little too strong, that oud smell, but it was a really good cover scent. Warmer, spicier fragrances are definitely the best. Now, the copulins. I haven't really touched on the copulins in this product. If you know what they do, then you'll kind of understand why it's in this product. If you don't know what it does, what it is, it's basically it is a pheromone-like compound that women secrete when they're ovulating or when they're at their most fertile. What this molecule does when worn by another person is it signifies that either A, that they are ovulating, which a man cannot give that vibe, or I hope cannot give that vibe, but especially when used in combination with the status pheromone like AscendXS, which has copulins and it has a version without copulins. When copulins are used alongside the rest of the constituents of Ascend, it gives this essence of a man who's going places in life, who's got women flocking all over him, who women just love because he's going somewhere in life and he is the type of man that women want to be around. Now, that is a very good characteristics of this pheromone product, in my opinion. The only thing is it does make it a lot harder to use unscented, so you would need a cover scent for it. But it seems like I have not had a situation where the Ascend with copulins has gone wrong, except for in India. I was living in India for 6 months a couple years back, and when I used Ascend with copulins, it did not go over so well, because I don't think the people in that culture, in Indian culture, appreciate a man who is not married, who is giving off the vibe that he has a lot of women around him. That just is not socially or culturally acceptable in that part of the world. But in America, it's totally okay. It's totally culturally acceptable. In fact, it gives a man even more status, especially by his other fellow peer males. Now, any other questions? You guys, please feel free to comment. Leave your questions, comments, anything. Just leave it below. I highly encourage conversation about this. If you're too afraid to initiate conversation on this YouTube video, shoot me a message. I know that a lot of people like to be anonymous when using pheromones. In my experience, I personally don't think I need to keep my pheromones anonymous. Now, I don't go about telling everybody that I use them, but I certainly do let people know if they ask. Now, so please start a conversation, and I'm actually going to start something very interesting with this video right now. This video is being made on June 1st, and if you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, by July 1st, I'm going to pick one random person from this video that's commented, liked, and subscribed to my channel. From this video, I will choose one random person, and I will give you a free 3 milliliter bottle of a pheromone oil of Connections. It's one of my favorite compounds ever. Connections, when used with Ascend especially, is a beautiful combination. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And July 1st, I will pick that winner, and I will mail you that 3 milliliter bottle of Connections. Have a good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. Bye.